Hi crafters, this is Crafty Sabby and I am here today to share a little tutorial with you on how I made these little pockets for my journals, and the video before this shows a journal that I just made with using some of these pocket ideas. So today we're just going to go ahead and make this sort of simple pocket. I made these little pockets using Book Page, which I might have mentioned before in another video. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to have something, an element in my journals that were sort of hand sewn and but not too bulky. So I didn't want like thickness on my page. I just kind of wanted to keep it as thin as possible. So that's why I thought I would use the Book Page. Not to mention that you can see through some of the fabrics depending on what you choose, and I really kind of liked that whole idea. So there you can see the book page through, and then obviously there's some that you can't. So it's totally up to you what you choose to use. So in this instance, I've got Book Page here, and I just glued a couple of sheets together, but feel free to even use, let's see, a regular cardstock. So you could go ahead and use whatever paper you have. I mean, this is just regular cardstock from Michaels. And if you don't have anything like that, then this is just copy paper, and I cut it down to size and glued a couple sheets together, and it's basically achieves the same thing. Use decorative paper if you have fabrics that you can see through. I mean, the possibilities are really quite endless. It doesn't really matter what you use on the inside. So then the next thing that I did was, I'm just going to remove this because it has my notes on it, and then I'll put it back. I cut down 2 pieces of book paper, which then I glued together, and the book, and this sheet, or this size here, is 5 by 6. And then I also cut down 2 pieces of material, and again we're just going to use that same material that I showed you here. And I cut the material down to 6 by 7, so a little bit bigger than the actual book page. And so once I had my 2 pieces of book page glued together and sort of, dry, I just folded it in half. So that's how we're going to create our pocket. So just fold that paper in half. And so the next thing that I did was, and I don't know if this is, I don't claim to be, a seamstress or even good at this. I just kind of learn as I go. So there might be, and I'm sure there probably is, something out there that you could use to adhere paper or something to fabric. I don't know, it might be an iron-on thing or whatever, but I wasn't going through all of that trouble. So I just literally took my, let's see here. I took my score tape and I just put a couple of strips, 3 strips across there on both sides of the sheet. Try not to get too close to the edges because we're going to be sewing there, and you don't want to get your needles all gummy. So, and that's all I did. So the reason why I did it was so that my paper doesn't move around on the fabric while I'm trying to feed it through. And that's my reason, and I'm sticking to it. So, so there's sticky tape on there right now, and I've already got it on the bottom. I've got the fabric there, and then I'm just going to layer another piece on top, just like that. And the reason that I asked you to put that crease in the middle was so that you'd be able to fold it in half easily. I just want to tell you a couple things. So these aren't perfect, and they're a little sloppy and whatnot. I don't mind that. I kind of like that. So there's a couple things you can do. On these ones here, I finished these edges. I kind of tucked in the fabric, and they're nice and neat. and whatnot. That's the top where the tag or whatever goes. On the bottom, I just cut the fabric. I didn't fold or tuck anything, and I'm okay with that too. I like it both ways. So I'm going to show you how you can tuck things in to make the edges nice and neat, because once you fold this, I should probably show you. This will be the top of your pocket, and all we're virtually going to do is sew down here and here and here. So really, because you want to leave this open, but you could either tuck your fabrics in, and it's going to be a little difficult to see this. So I would probably take one and fold it over the paper like this. And then this other piece, I'm just going to flip it here. I would probably tuck in on itself. Maybe I can show you this way. So I had that one folded down, and you know, you really have to play with it. But you could do something like that, fold it all up nicely, and then run it through your sewing machine so that you get a nice finished edge. Or the way I'm going to show you is just kind of the sloppy way, quick and easy. We're just going to run it sew along the edge of the paper, right on the machine, and then we're going to cut these the bits off. And this is easy to do with fabric that you can see through, because once you run this through your machine along the paper's edge, you can also, it's easy enough to see through it to cut those edges and trim them off. I hope that's kind of making sense. So let's go to the machine and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I got my son holding my video camera so I can show you what I'm doing here. So what you're going to want to do is sew a straight line across the short ends of your square. So we're going to sew across the top, and we're going to sew across the bottom, and then we're going to stop right there. And just always making sure that you're sewing on your paper line there. So I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to sew straight down. Okay, so I went across the one side, and now I'm going to go across the other side. And I'm always just kind of checking where I'm sewing. Okay, so I'm a little off there, but it's not really going to matter. So that's the top and the bottom done. So then you're just going to fold it on that crease line that I told you about. And we're going to just sew across the side, across the bottom, and the other side. Just whatever you do, don't sew where you've already sewn, or else you're going to close your pocket shut. I'll just put that in there. Across the bottom. Okay, sorry, I had to rethread my machine. So we're still sewing across the bottom. And then back up the side here. Okay, so that's it for the sewing. Okay, so now all that's left to do really is to take your scissors and cut away the excess, and I just go kind of up to my paper there. I can probably get a little closer and trim away the excess. Same thing for the top. You probably want a good sharp pair of scissors for this. And what's left? I've got a lot of strings and things. And then cut this side here. So I don't know, maybe not the most effective way, but nonetheless, it's a pocket and it's cute. And like I said, there's probably 1,000 better ways that you could do it out there. And like I also said earlier, you could, you know, tuck your edges in. And if you are experienced at sewing, then your edges will come out nice and clean. Okay guys, so that's it. I hope you guys will give this little pocket a try. I hope I didn't confuse things too much. Even I found it difficult to show you. Sometimes, you know, you just do things without thinking, and then when you have to explain it, it doesn't always sound right. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Just put them in the comments, and I will be sure to answer any questions that you have. I don't know if I told you what the finished size was, but you can see there it's about 5 by 3 when all said and done. And then you can also check out my video before this to see how I use them in my journal. So that's it. I hope everybody is well, and we will talk to you guys real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.